In this video, we are covering exercises and questions related to Chapter 1 from 5, Variation. And this is the third part to a 3 series videos. So if you would like to understand the concepts in regards to variation, make sure to check out the first 2 videos. I will give the links down below. And in this video, we are going to focus on exercises. So, welcome to the newcomers, and for those who are coming back, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Rishi. And without any further ado, let's begin. So the first question that you will commonly get is where they will give you the numbers and the terms, and they will ask you to state the relation in whichever form they want. It can be variation form or it can be equation form. This question has asked us to present the answer in variation form, but for good measure, we will be showing it in the equation form as well. So when you read a question, it's very important to dissect the question part by part to get the correct answer. But before diving into the working steps, I would like you to try. You as the audience, it's time for you to engage and try the questions by yourself. So I will be giving you around 5 seconds, but if you need more time, feel free to pause the video and give it a go. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And I hope you have tried and you have the answer now. So let's see how this question is handled. So first things first, read the question properly. So the terms associated here are Q and G. So it's given Q varies directly as the square of G. So the relationship here is varies directly, not inversely, it is directly. As the square of G, the square of G refers to G squared. And Q it just stays as Q because there is no additional operators to it. So Q varies directly as G squared. And it's given that Q is 54 and G is 9. So since from the previous videos, we can conclude that varies directly means we will use the proportion symbol without using the reciprocal, because reciprocal is only used when it is given that it varies inversely. So here we get the number, we get the form, which is G varies directly as G squared. And this is the variation form where we use the proportion symbol to state the relation between the two unknowns. Now, if we were to take it up a notch and show it in equation form, and since they have given the values for Q and G, it is possible to find the constant. So before going too far, let us convert the variation form into its equation form, where the proportion symbol will become equals K. Q equals to K. For those who are asking, can I use any other unknowns? You are allowed to use, but K is the most common unknown we use to represent constant. So Q equals to K, and then we will have the G squared right beside it. So G squared, this will be a times relation. So here, you can't leave this as an answer because they have given you the values for Q and G. Since you have the values, why not just substitute them? So you will get Q equals to K G squared, just rewriting the question. And then Q is given 54 and G is 9. Remember to add in the square for 9. This is where you have to be alert about the operators that are attached to the terms, attached to the unknowns, because they will play a big role when it comes to calculations. So 54 is equivalent to K times 81. So K is equal to 54 divided, will get you the answer of 2 over 3. So now that we know that K is 2 over 3, we can rewrite the equation form as q equals to 2 over 3 g squared. That's the first question. Hopefully you got these two answers. And let's move on to the next question. So here, the question is given that it's given that r varies directly as q cubed and r equals to 1 when q equals to 2. Calculate r when q equals to negative 4. So same thing again. I'm going to give you 5 seconds. Take a read. Yeah, take a read and try to give it a go. Five, four, three, two, one. So it's time to dissect the question one by one. R and q cubed varies directly. So we know that there is no reciprocal involved. It's just straight. So R varies directly as q cubed. Even though they did not ask you to present the relation in the form of variation form, it's important to do that so that you get a better understanding of what you are dealing with. So once you have this, since they have given the number, if they give you the value, it's highly likely they are expecting you to show the relation in equation form so that you can carry out calculations. So since it's given, let's change the variation form into equation form. R equals to k q cubed. And with the terms, just substitute them in and you will get 1 equals to k. Q will be 2 cubed. 1 equals to k2 cubed. So let's just solve it. We will get k times 8. K is equivalent to 1 over 8. So with this, we can rewrite the equation form as r equals to 1 over 8 q cubed. We have gotten the variation form. We have gotten the equation form, but that's not the requirement for the question. The question asks you to find r when q is negative 4. We can use the equation form to find the answer. So r will be the unknown we have to find. Then q is given as negative 4. So negative 4 cubed, we will get negative 64. Negative 64, because 4 is 16. 16 times 4, you will get 64. Then we can cut the numbers 188, 88, 64. The final answer for r will be negative 8. It's as simple as that. Let's move on to the next question. Don't worry, we'll still have two more questions, including this. And once we're done with that, I am pretty sure that you will be able to handle any other questions relating to this topic. So the third question, give it a try, and in 5 seconds, I'll reveal the working step. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And here we go. Dissecting the question, P varies inversely as the cube root of Q. So first things first, the unknowns are P and Q. Remember, if it's a capital P, make sure you use capital P all the way. This little bit of nuances play a big role when it comes to examiners marking a paper. Of course, sometimes your examiners might be lenient and they might let you off the hook, but it's always better and much, much safer to state the requirement exactly the way they intend you to answer so that you will not face any problems. So P varies inversely as the cube root of Q. Now, the relationship is not as same as what we have seen earlier. Now the relationship is varies inversely. When there is a usage of the word inversely, we know that we have to use reciprocal. For those who do not know what reciprocal is, reciprocal refers to 1 over. Anything that has 1 over on top of it, it's known as reciprocal. We use that to show that when A is increasing, B is decreasing. If you are fuzzy about what I'm referring to, I would recommend you to take a look at the previous 2 videos so that you have a better understanding before proceeding with this question. Now, once we have gotten that bit out of the way, let's continue. P varies inversely, so we have to put 1 over, and it's given as cube root of q. Cube root of q refers to 3, the root, and q. Make sure you write down the operators inside the variation form itself. Cube root of q. And they have given you the values, so it's important for you to find it in equation form as well. Because the question wants you to find q when p is 48. This is very similar to the question before this, the second question, where they have given you values and they want you to find the other unknown. So same thing, in equation form it would look something like p equals to k times 1 over cube root of q. So given p is 18 and q is 27, if you calculate it, you will get 1 over 3, and k equals to 18 times 3, which you would get 54. Now, you can rewrite the equation form as p equals to 54 times 1 over the cube root of q. So they're asking you to find the value of q when p is 48. Just substitute it right in. You will have 48 equals to 54, 1 cube root q. So 48 divided by 54, you will get the answer of 48 divided by 54, you will get the answer of 8 over 9. This goes down here. You got 8 over 9 equals to 1 over the cube root of q. So just switch up the order and you'll be able to find the value. So you have 9 over 8 equals to cube root of q. So to get the answer for q, you have to cube both sides. Cube both sides. And the final answer will be q equals to 729 over 512. So see whether you can simplify it any further. Since you can't, q is equivalent to 729 over 512. And that's the final answer for this question. Now let's move on to the last question. And this question is where we deal with combined variation. We will have one of the quantity which increases while the other decreases. So the same thing, 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And let's tackle the question. The acceleration of an object, which is represented by the unknown a, varies directly as the distance traveled, which is represented with the letter s, and inversely as the square of the time taken, which is represented by the letter t, by the object. Okay, so same thing, dissect it one by one. You may notice that this question did not give us anything, but the requirement is stated in variation form and equation form. First things first, Acceleration, which is a, varies directly as the distance traveled, which is s, and inversely as the time taken. Varies directly, the relationship will be just straight up proportion symbol. For inversely, it will be 1 over. So the moment we have seen this relation where both varies directly and inversely are present, we would know that it is a combined variation, and we would straight up start writing the variation form. A, we know that A is going to be the letter on the left, proportion symbol. For combined variation, remember to put a fraction symbol first, the over symbol. I'm not sure what it is called, but I think it's called the fraction symbol. And then the top part will be the terms that varies directly, and the bottom one will be for the inverse for the inverse relationship. So directly we have S, and inversely we have T. That's about it. A is directly proportional to S over T. That's about it. It's as simple as that. This will be the variation form. And as for the equation form, since there has been no terms given, you can straight away write it down as let k equals to constant. It is better to write this down so that the examiner knows that you know what you're doing. In the case you do not write it, it's still fine. They're not going to penalize your marks, but it's better to have it written. A equals to k times s over t. For those who are curious, yes, you can write it down as ks over t. It is completely optional and it's completely fine. So just a bit of a fun fact that I remember from watching somewhere. If you notice the fraction symbol, it is very similar to divide, where these two are the same thing and the dots refer to two different terms. Don't know why, just wanted to add that in. So now that we have covered this question and represented the question given in the variation form and the equation form, we have come to the end of the video. I hope that this video has served you well in terms of understanding how to apply the concepts we learned in the two prior videos so that you can tackle these questions and this chapter for your exams with ease. So if you have any questions that you would like to clarify, feel free to email me the questions. And if the questions are, feel free to email me the questions and I will take a look and reply to you as much as I can. And if the questions are interesting and difficult enough, I will feature it in the YouTube videos so that everyone else could learn from it as well. So that's the end of the video, and I hope to see you in the next one, focusing on other chapters or even other elements of this channel. So hope to see you again. Till then, bye bye.